like, oh, I'm going to be okay. I choose to be okay. Like and so I was stuck in a logical side of it, of being grateful, of being appreciative, of like, really soaking up who my dad was. And I couldn't cry. I couldn't step into the emotional side of it, which was hard
And
until,
what finally, yeah, like what finally made you go, oh, okay, I'll cry now.
it was, well, I'm trying to remember the first time that I cried. I was doing like an I am practice, and I had my feet up on the bed. So they were up above me, which I know promotes like emotional flow. And so I put my feet up on the bed, and I was just saying like, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am happy. I am, just kind of going through like 45 things of I am, just what I feel. And I started crying, and it was just like I was breaking down and becoming more vulnerable with myself. And then the energy flow was happening. So it was a really good moment, and it totally just like, and
Mm.
then the next time that I remember feeling more myself was when I did the high vibrational cleanse. I was starting to feel a little bit more momentum, right? Movement. And so I was like, I want to do this cleanse because it'll raise my vibration and cleanse things out. And now I feel like I'm like actually, because for a while I was like just numb, didn't have a motive to do anything. I could literally sit in my room and just be like, didn't need a book, didn't need a phone, didn't need anything, just like chill. No stimulant. And so when I did this cleanse, I felt like it just moved the energy, and it opened up another phase of healing for me. So
Cool.
that was really cool, which is why I want to include it in my program too.
What week are you going to do the I am exercise?
Mm, I Let me pull it up. I probably within like the first or second week, maybe the second week, just because the first is more about like kind of getting grounded, kind of touching base. Maybe the second or third.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I was just asking if you're going to include it because, like, all
Yeah.
the stuff that like helped you, that should
Yeah.
be in the formula. That's
That's
cool.
what, and I hope it helps others, but I guess that's all we can.
Yeah.
Um, so I totally can relate to the numbing, and I'm not usually a number, but I totally went through a numbing phase and was like, this is weird. Like I want to feel, and there was nothing to feel. Like I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. I didn't, and then another significant, um, thing that's kind of continuously kept my emotions flowing is journaling every day. And what I do is I write an affirmation or an intention, pretty more of an affirmation from me to my heart. And it's usually something I wish I brought my journal in here. It's something along the lines of like, slow to your flow. It's okay to be still today. There is no expectation, like a sweet note from myself to my heart.
Oh,
So
yay.
and I still do that today. Like it's definitely been the biggest way of healing myself.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm excited. This program though, to be completely honest, Cristi, like it scares me. It's definitely been a lot of, like I'm building something, but I'm also like building myself. Right. And I'm
Yeah.
putting myself out there on the line, which I'm not usually great at. I've journaled about this, but I don't like being seen. I like being heard to the people that like respect and want to hear me. Right. But like doing a live and listing like the top 3 things you want to do in your morning to have the most blah, blah, whatever, like that doesn't appeal to me as much. So, um,
That's
I
weird.
know, right? Like I don't want to, maybe it's putting myself out there though. That's what I think it is like, I'm not used to, um, a lot of attention
Dude, you
and
did a bikini competition.
to push myself because I was like, you know what? I
Right.
want to break this shit. Like I'm tired of like not liking attention and, so, and I was way better like when I went up there, cause I'm like, oh, there's like 300 women doing the same thing. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
you know? Um, um, and I think it stimulates to my childhood. I've done a little bit of childhood detailing on it, but I used to blush whenever my name was called for roll call. Like,
Oh,
how silly is
wow.
that? How silly. Where did that come from? I have no idea. I don't know. But my name was unique. And so I think I would like, people could just say here, but I would have to like correct the teacher. Right. And so then I would correct and say it's actually ciane, not cane, cayenne, or cyan, or whatever the hell they would come up with. And then the students would all look at me because they've never heard a name like that before. So then they turn and look at me and they're like, what? You know, and then I'm like beet red because I have like way too much attention on me. So I don't know where that, but I caught it. And like late middle school, I was able to like breathe and like, okay, I know I'm blushing right now. Like, okay, stop, deep breaths. Like, and so it then faded like from like beet red to like pinkish, you know? And so now I just blush here sometimes. So I'm getting better at it, but I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Like, and it's not my name anymore. It's more of like just attention. Like I'll correct whatever, or I like don't even bother. But it's interesting, you know? So with that being, I definitely feel like this is a big challenge for me, which I like it, but it's also hard. Like putting something together, designing my own from my heart, and then putting it out on the line for people to look at, attention, you know? So,
what can I say about that? Yeah, I get embarrassed being seen too. I want to be praised. And like I don't know. I like, it feels nice to be like, oh, you're pretty, or you're so smart, or that's so cool. I'm inspired by that. Those are cool things. But
absolutely. And to be honest, like and I know this, like when I've posted something or when I've done something, I've got nothing but praise. And I'm like, why am I so concerned? Same for you, right? It's like, it's just between, you know, yourself. Like there's really nothing to be totally concerned about because, we kind of match. That's funny.
Oh,
yay. Like I feel like for you too, like not a single person is going to dog you and be like, you stuttered, you know, you know, like it's so silly. And I know that people praise vulnerability and, you know, it's just doing it. I think the more that I put myself out there, I'll learn to get through it. Like I have in the past,
but like the vulnerability that you're posting, not to be like comparing people, but some people like post really, really vulnerable shit that it's like, wow, that's a problem. But you're posting about, oh, I got sad or I'm hurt. So, I think, I guess that's hard to, that would be hard to share, especially when people like look up to you. And then I've heard that when you share about your brand and who you are and that you've gone through a rough thing, they're like, oh, wow, thanks for sharing your story. But like, if you're trying to sell them, they're like, oh, you're vulnerable. Like, you don't seem strong enough to help me, kind of thing. And I've heard that you have to like share enough about you, but not it be like, man, you're diseased. So looks like you need to go away or something.
Which is, so, and tell me if you feel like I come off that way, but I try to conclude it in a way of like, but I'm okay. And I choose to be okay. And I'm strong. And, you know, anybody, you can do it too. Just make time for yourself. And like, I try to like conclude it with, I'm here to help you. I haven't really said it quite like that, but, like, I'm okay. Right. Like, yes, we all fall and yes, we all, you know, hurt and feel things and then you come out okay. And that's kind of how I try to post about it, and it just flows for me. I don't really like, I need to be vulnerable today on Facebook. It just kind of like, it just kind of flows.
It flows really well. You're like such a good writer, and I'm like,
really?
Wow, yeah.
Thank you. I feel like writing has not been my strong, like in high school and college. Like I've always kind of doubted that for myself. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I just saw one. I would love to connect with 15 to 20 women.
So thank you.
That's all. That's what I remember.
Thank you. I will do that now.
I write better than I speak. I speak like 8th grade.
No, but, I don't think so.
Oh, what was I going to say? Yeah, but your stories are really good. I feel like I miss that part of the branding and who you are and exposing yourself, and I need to do a little bit more of that.
Being
But
a little bit more
I'm
vulnerable.
very apprehensive of starting the slow sales process. In all honesty, I feel like
Me
I don't want to
too.
start this again.
I know it definitely kind of intimidates me too. And to be honest, I did not show up to the call today. Where are you? I'm like trying to bring you back. There we go. I did not show up to the call today like full on ready to practice and do it all. Like I did get a nanny job, so I have been busy this past week, and I need to like sit down and relay out my time that I'm able to work on this because it's just been like all over the place. Yeah, and I'm only nannying like 15 to 20 hours a week, but I need money. Like I before this I was massaging at a resort, and then when I got laid off, I was just still working at my part-time place. So that part-time is like part-time money. It's not much.
Oh
So
yeah.
I have to get a part-time easy job that um but
Do you pay Matt rent?
yeah, we do. I
Yeah,
share with them. Yeah.
I pay John too.
Good.
Um, it makes me feel like this is my house too.
Yes. I feel like I'd have to do that. Otherwise I'd probably get a little lazy on it, like nothing's really making me other than,
Yeah. So
well,
what's the next thing on your so is the next step for you to post this?
yes, to post it. And yeah, I mean, that's, I think my next step to organize some calls. And then where is that? Well, I have the marketing research outline paper like printed out and stuff to go over. Where's the other one? Oh, the slow sales process. that I'm going to go over next, but that doesn't happen until after the marketing research, right? Like after the 30-minute calls that I have with everybody, right? Or do we build it
No. Well, you're kind of like,
both?
yeah, because you're doing market research. Like once they say, "Oh my gosh, that's me," then you're like, "Oh, I have to get on a call with you." Then when you get on the call,
Then it's
then yes, um, they're either like, "Tell me more about your program," and you have to like tell them more, or you have to
right,
schedule that next call, and that's whenever you're like, "Hey, are you in or out?" Because if
yeah,
it lags, they're just gonna fall off.
right. So I should probably maybe wait till next. Well, because
Have it.
I feel like I need some practice on the marketing or on the slow sales process. I literally like I need to break it down. I think Jolie says to like kind of design your own. I haven't really put the energy into doing that yet, so I need to.
Um,
So
yeah.
when would you suggest that I do that? Maybe because I thought about doing it tomorrow. I don't know when like a good day of doing it is. I know there's one site that I can. It's like uh, Spiritual Boss Babes or something. That's like I can only post it there on Wednesday. So maybe I'll post it there on Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to get a lot of traction because they like only give you one day and they make a post. So like I see like hundreds of posts, but nobody's like commented on any of them. So
Huh.
that's not like my prime one. I'm hoping to get people from my Facebook and from Society of We and stuff like that.
Um, have you gone on what is it? The Austin Holistic Austin Wellness Collaborative?
I don't think so. There we are. I'm going to write it down now. Austin Wellness Collaborative.
Yeah. Do you know Ashley Maltz or Malteser? Ashley Maltz?
No.
She's she's a doctor. She integrates like Chinese medicine in some of her things, but like her mission is to help medical students not commit suicide.
Oh,
Because
wow.
she thinks that medical students in the medical field, like there's so much pressure on us that we're all depressed and we're gonna freaking commit suicide.
Right.
So anyway, she's into holistic kind of things, and um, we're always at the same groups and stuff. But this would, if anything, you could post this there and ask like, what do you all think? This is my research post. Like, does anybody have questions about what I'm trying to market to or something?
Okay.
Because the only thing here is that I'm trying to like think like man, who would this be perfect for? But the girls that I would think would be perfect for, they don't have awareness of this.
Right.
Like they don't
know that they need it.
right. So like, do you numb yourself out with antidepressants or Xanax or whatever because you can't fall asleep? Like, are you so hurt and sad that you don't want to eat? Like more points that it's like, oh, that's me, you know?
More specific.
Yeah,
Okay.
specific. And then do you struggle with balancing your emotional feminine with masculine? Like, what does that mean? So
I thought about that. I thought that was pretty like vague-ish.
yeah,
Yeah.
like do you receive love? Is it hard for you to receive love or do downtime or something? You avoided making the time to heal the traumatic core shaking. Okay. So maybe like um you had a traumatic episode, but you haven't even like, you can't remember if you cried or not or something. Like everyone thinks that you're weird because you're not crying or something like that, where it would like connect to more women that.
Okay. More specific situations that are relatable.
Yeah.
And what stuff that I've gone through. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really
Like
good
just,
point.
and then you would, I think you would get women that haven't gone into spirituality. So they'd be like, whoa, ciane is so cool because she talked about this other realm. And, you know, I mean, my goal is for people to be like, oh, wow, I like vegetables now. And like, oh, now I'm going to journal write. Like, and that's their first step. But then they see me as this, whoa, she got me in the spiritual realm. And like, you're already way in there. And the women that it seems like you might get to, they might be like already kind of like us. Well, we may need accountability partner with you, but I don't know. I feel like you can make more money if you get people that haven't even touched on this. You know what I'm
That
saying?
makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I like that.
Like if like the people that you massage, like do they know about feminine energy and masculine energy?
Nope. Some
Like
do, some don't. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you taught them about feminine energy and
Masculine.
masculine energy, that'd be cool. So like I did this whole thing with my women, and on week 4, I wanted to introduce chakras, and so I was like, all right, week 4, chakra 1, 2, and 3, and like they're still doing all their other stuff, like being on this high vibe diet, but they're like, that chakra thing that just went over me. But they're like, oh, but I'm still eating clean, like,
Right.
and I'm
Yeah.
happy. So it would have like helped them to go deeper, but they're just like, that's weird, I don't know about that. And I don't know, but they weren't ready or something.
Yeah. Maybe. I think I liked what you had said where you like make sure you ask the right questions. Maybe like some of them were like, what's a chakra at the beginning? And maybe they should have been updated a tiny bit then. I don't know. Like that way they're not like going into it blind. But
That's true. That is
maybe
true. Yeah, I don't think I asked them. I think I asked
you
them.
stimulated a question like that for me because I, and it can always be a very in-depth response, right? But just to give
Yeah.
them a little bit of a glimpse of what that means, so then maybe they're excited about it, not just like, I don't know what this is, trash.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking. Like, do you know somebody that does struggle with balancing feminine and masculine energy? Because if you do, then I'm not like, I don't
Right.
like. Then if you do, then that's perfect because you'll get those people. But I'm just like off. Like I'm just the one that doesn't get it, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes total sense. And I agree to that. That question made me feel like, I feel like it should be more specific. So I'm glad that you said that. That makes sense. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
Yeah. So what's holding you back from wanting to do the slow sales process? You had said that you're a little.
Um, I put in, like, I did a lot more than what was required. So I sent them like 3 questionnaires. So one questionnaire was like case study, like it asked like, who have you gone to before, what worked, what didn't, like what do you like about your body, what do you like it was like 3 pages. What do you want out of this, da da da. It's kind of getting like everything. And then another one, it was looking at all their organ systems. So it looked at circulatory, lymphatic, digestion, gastric, their mind, CNS, brain, muscle, tissue. So then it came out with scores. And then another one was like a food survey, or a
journal,
a 4-day journal of what they ate, how they slept, what their bowel movement looked like. And so some of it was online and I was able to get back. Other ones, they had to scan it in. And like then either I didn't have a scanner or they sent it from their phone, but I didn't get it. And so that took forever. And they had to send me that before the class started. And then before the class started, I had to tally up all their things. I had to, highlight this and that, the points that I think they needed help with. And all that was before the class started. Then the class started and I sent them private assessments. And I'm like, oh, your assessment, everybody knows their assessment, but we're not going to talk about it on the call. Okay, now we're going to talk on the call about anybody have questions about the diet, and it was mostly they had questions about the diet. Oh, can we eat this? Can we eat that? What do you think about this? Things like that. So yeah, I offered them 2 one-on-one calls during the 8 weeks. Just how what's her name did that with us.
Okay.
I'm blanking on her name. Jolie. Yeah.
So
then like if they ever had problems, like they wanted to talk separately, and so I don't know. It was like I had the calls, they wouldn't make it, but then they'd want to talk separately, and so a lot of my time was used.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, what's up with this information? Like, how can I make it easier? So I feel like I need to revamp the modules and the whole process so that it works on its own, and I don't have to like get this information from them and this, and then tally up their score and explain to them all this stuff. I don't know. I think I'm making my thing.
Google Doc is definitely a way of like connecting. I'm sure you did that, but if there's like other links where you went to take a test and then it's, like I see how that would be kind of difficult to like just have one space that you sent them stuff and it's like there all times. Because I feel like that would be easy where it's like, go to your little folder and fill it out. And then you can like see that it's, that it's there always.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I need to convert some of these things into like an Adobe thing where they can select the letter and it can tally it up. But I don't know who to go to for that. John's like, oh yeah, you could do that, but then he doesn't explain how to do it.
Right, that's an option. Well,
or maybe I asked them too many things, because it's like what I learned of the Czech Holistic Lifestyle Coach, like that's their program and that's the way they do it and that's the way I'm required to do it. The thing is, their program, they don't have group stuff. It's all one-on-one. So I try to do a group thing for one-on-one. So all it was to me was like 5 one-on-one clients in 8 weeks, and it was a lot for me to juggle. So I know.
I remember someone mentioning that what if you just did really high-end one-on-one clients? Like, would that be more suitable? Does that excite you? How does that feel? Like, would you prefer to do that, or do you feel overwhelmed in a group?
I feel overwhelmed in a group when they all don't show up. I feel really like
something's missing.
Yeah. Because I want us all to progress together, but everybody's journey is separate. So either I need to get over it, because by this last call, Ciane, only one person showed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you know what? She is the perfect client, like the perfect client. She did everything at 100%. She's also like, oh, I'm ready to do the testimonial. And like, now off of her, now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to describe her in my market research post and
Good.
hopefully get like 30
More of
more.
hers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's such a good point. Yeah.
but you know how they were saying like, well, in the sales process, 20% converts. And it's so funny because 1 out of 5 is 20%. And so that was a 20% success rate. But like, it's really, it's what's it called? Like surprising to know that. Like they're like, yeah, that's just the way it is. Only 20% are gonna really do your shit. And I was like, what? Like I just don't expect that. So
Right.
whenever you
Oh,
get 5 girls, one girl is gonna be good. The other ones are gonna be kind of, and one girl's just gonna freaking fall off. Does that
I
hurt?
mean, is that kind of what happened with Jolie's group too? I mean, I fell off because of my dad, but I'm the one that fell off. And then you and I feel like, well, no, I feel like all three of y'all were rocking it. But like, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. I
round
mean,
two,
stuff
see what
happens.
happens. Yeah, and maybe just maybe not. Maybe you find more women that are just like the one that you had. You know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it just takes like fine tuning where you really like match vibration with the clients or with the, you know,
yeah. That's
and
what
just,
I'm hoping for. I just want to like regroup a little bit. Because I have these cards, and I've been told that like you need a little bit of time to feel like defeated and it like, oh, I suck or whatever, and then just let it kind of fizzle off, and then I'll regroup and want to do this again. I do want to add a 21-day or a 30-day journal thing because I was part
yeah,
of it and the first time, but I didn't create the entries for them. I even said you got to have a journal, but then like we never journaled anything.
okay,
Um, so I'm creating like journal entries right now. And,
good. I think that'll be good too because it'll kind of hold them accountable and like, because I remember you saying a little bit of that, like they're they're kind of getting down on themselves or maybe they're not being consistent because maybe they don't realize that they're not craving sugar as much, you know, or like the tiny little things that maybe if their journal they could write out and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you know,
um, yeah, that's
kind of,
true. So I'm gonna redo that.
yeah.
Um,
Anything
but
else that you
anyway,
would change?
um, no. Um, I guess I'd
Oh,
ask them like at a specific time, like, can you make 6:30? And they all kind of said yes, but it might be off. Um,
mm,
they I put everything on Trello, so that was cool to log
good.
into. But a lot of them that are on the go, they wanted to get into Trello on their phone, and
Mm,
they couldn't see that. But like, they're also the ones that are super stressed out, and they don't learn how to stop. So they're supposed to go home and look at Trello on their computer at home, not in the car.
right. Right. It's
So
designed that way.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
At the beginning of your course, did you have them like build time into their schedule for this? Like, did like how Jolie was like, get familiar with your calendar, freaking write it in. When are you going to be working on this? What does this, you know, how do you value this? Where does it sit with your calendar? And does it reflect in that? And maybe you could add a little bit of like, okay, you know, we're going to put a little bit of structure into your schedule just so that you make sure that you make time for this. Hold them
yeah,
accountable a little bit, have them hold themselves accountable.
yeah. So what I would do for next time is that I would shift it. If it was, say it was, I made it into a 6-week course instead of 8, like all that paperwork and stuff, they would be doing it the first week, like after they've paid when we've started the first call, that I would do that during the thing, not before, but also on the call, talk about time management and, or have a module about value and stuff. And then
Okay.
kind of push okay, now you're going to eat gluten-free and whatever free, and maybe just create that for the last 30 days or something instead of 8 weeks, which is super hard to do. Um, I'll probably do that.
I like
Yeah.
that.
But the time management thing, yes, because
And it doesn't have to be intense, but
yeah, yeah, it's huge.
I feel like that's a big thing for me. If I'm not like, I mean, I have my calendar and it like is written out like when I have my clients, and I have two forms, right? Like, and I wake up and I look at this, and then the night before I look at this. Like, it's just my way of like, and what's going on today? Because
Mhm.
otherwise I'll, do something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big help for me. Kind of keeps me in line with my goals and my intentions for myself and balance, I guess.
Oh, something else that maybe you should do. You want to go with me to the Society of Women's Entrepreneur group?
Oh, yeah.
It's
When is
um
that?
it's next week on Wednesday, and you could actually go up to the mic
Is
because
that the
everybody
13th?
yes.
Darn it. Maybe. Depends on what time. I've got a pretty busy day, the 13th. I'm nannying on Wednesday morning, and then I have clients from like 4:45 to 7:45.
That it starts at 6:30.
Dang it.
Is the client like solid?
Uh, yeah.
The client won't move.
Um, well, no, actually, I could potentially ask her to move to Saturday morning, although Matt's dad comes in town, and I really have no idea what we're going to be doing Saturday morning. That was tentative. I'll maybe I can move her to. Oh, she works
Wednesday or
Friday.
Thursday?
Maybe Thursday evening. I'll ask her if maybe she can move to Thursday evening. Yeah.
Because
We'll
that
see.
going to that thing really helps your momentum. Because right now I'm like, I
I've
don't
never
know.
been. I've never been.
Oh, you should
Mm-mm.
go.
Do I have to be part of the group? Do I have to pay? No?
You may, you'll see if
Do you
somebody.
pay?
I'm paying a monthly fee.
Mm-hmm.
I may not. I'm paying for you to post in the group. You have to be a member.
Mm.
Um, but I think you're able to go. I'm not sure. They were gonna make it where you can only go if you're a member, but I don't think you have to be a member. Anyway, it might be $20, but there's also a lot of members that never use their thing, and you could just like sign in as them. I don't know. Find
Okay.
out. Maybe Jolie won't even go, and you could borrow her thing or something.
Right.
Um, but you'll go on stage and you're like, "Hi, I'm Ciane. I love wine and making floral creations, but right now I'm creating a project about this, and I'm seeking out like I'm trying to find out like who has had this kind of event in their life and da 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 da, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of test it out, or at least announce this is what I do. If you're interested, come talk to me or whatever. But
Okay.
I feel like whenever I go on that stage, it's kind of like I'm proclaiming that I'm doing this, and after that, when people ask what you do, like you don't say like, well, I kind of do that. I don't know. Like it's so much easier. It's like good practice, I
That
guess.
would be a big step for me for sure. I know you're like you want to do like speak in public and like you want to do stuff like that. Is that just like because
Because
it
I'm
scares
scared.
you?
Yeah, I'm scared
Okay.
shit.
So you
I
want to
don't.
do it to push yourself.
Yes. I, yeah. I want to show people that are really shy that being shy is not going to get them anywhere.
Right.
And we're gonna have to work at a whatever job if we don't choose to be unique. So it's like whenever you're like correcting your teacher, you're pretty much saying like, I'm really unique. You messed up. I feel bad about making you feel bad, but I'm unique.
Yeah.
But now you get to be like, hey, I'm unique, and this is why
Right.
you should choose me.
Hmm. Step
Um,
into that. Yeah.
yeah, but it could be cool.
Oh,
I get scared, but I still want to go. That's why I'm asking you to go because I'm like I'm scared too.
okay. Well, if I can get her to move, I'd be interested. Yeah. And you said it's at oh shoot at 6:30. Is that right?
Yes, I'll share the event with you on Facebook.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, since you know about chakras, I went to, where is my purse? Well, let me go get the piece of paper, right, just so I can read it to you. I had an energy session, and she um, like checked into all my chakras, and I wanted to just like briefly tell you about it because
Okay.
you're like really the only person that I know that's like all that knows all about that. So just
Okay.
a second, okay?
Okay.
Yes, I did. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
Yes, I have a list of questions, and then I'm going to fine tune that. Kind of, I liked Brienne's flow. I just want to make sure that I think, she said, get into their world and then have them dream. And then like, there's like, she had it kind of labeled and how you want to like set the mood throughout the call. So I'm
yeah.
going to kind of fine tune my layout a little bit and make sure that it flows like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you don't have to have everything, like you don't have to be like, all right, well, are you in? Because you could ask more questions and then find out, oh, how could I help this person? If I got on another call with them, what questions do I want to ask now? Because you want to know how you could better serve them, like how they could fit into your thing and what extra module you'll have to make to make them fit into your class. But some of them you could tell, like, oh, this person's just not, they're not on my level, or that's not what I want to attract.
And that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think there's a certain day to post it? Does it matter?
No, I would just say don't do it on a Sunday. Like, they say usually between the hours like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then people usually see it there. The
Okay.
weird thing is, so this is a weird thing that happened with me. Whenever I posted that long thing, I didn't get lots of likes and lots of traction. But when I posted like, hey, I'm doing this 8-week course and it's about this and this, let me know if you're interested, I got a bunch of likes and a lot of interaction.
When did you do them like separately, like timeline wise?
Like,
Was it like,
like 2 weeks apart,
okay.
3 weeks apart. It was like we did it and then I got a couple and I did some calls and then I was like, fuck that, I'm going away, like I need a break. And then when it was time, like, hey, you need to have your people signed up by this week, that's whenever like I had the pressure again and I did it.
And that's when you posted like hey, I'm doing um the
8-week
8-week
course.
course. Okay.
Yeah, registration ends by next week and that's when I got most of it.
Wow. Okay,
So
cool.
I guess you really do want to do market research because this is super new and nobody else is doing what you want to do. So I think it would serve
Right.
you.
That makes me okay.
Not unless
Okay.
is somebody else doing what you're doing?
I don't think so. I don't know. Not hmm. Do you think it's something that like women would want to be vulnerable with? Like it's going to be a lot of vulnerability. It truly is. Within their own process, but being vulnerable and sharing in a group setting, maybe, because
What would you have paid for? When you were going through that, you're like, man, I wish I could just go to this person to like fix me. What would you have paid? What, like, you know?
that's a good question because there's definitely times that I was like, I just want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I heal though. I've always been a self healer. I'll reach out when I need it, but I've always been like, I just need to be with myself. I have the answers within, you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully, more
That's why
people.
market research would be good for you because
Yeah.
what you could possibly offer is something like nobody else has offered. And it could be like, fuck, she is the one to refer to. But it has to be that special thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you are going to talk to people that just lost their mom or dad. And like, you're going to have to talk, like everybody in the group just lost a parent or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to have to post in funeral pages or
Oh
like get to
man.
know, but
Yeah.
I don't know what if,
Yeah, I started posting and like I was looking for I know you need to go. I'm sorry. I started posting and like or adding groups that were like, "Oh, just lost their child," and I like it just like, it just like dampened me a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, like, do I have enough space to work with people like this right now? You know? And that's definitely been a question that I've asked myself. Like, I'm holding space for myself, but I can't be on the same level at them. I can sympathize, but I can't like take away the support that I have to give them. So I fully feel like I need to be able to hold them and support them and make space for them and be solid with myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You do.
And so I question that a little bit. I am really good. And when I connect with other people, it gets that empowerment, right? It's that like purpose feeling. And so I don't know. I guess I'll test it out. Like you said, marketing research. If I end up crying and breaking down with them, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Or maybe your thing can be about awakening. Like, do you ever find yourself numbing out? All right, this thing is about how to be conscious and aware and understand your feelings, or maybe it's about feelings or something.
That's kind of honestly what it's more about. When I look through my modules, it's about like understanding why you feel the way you feel, and then seeing it as like gratitude instead of, you know, the playing the victim and stuff like that, you know, and taking care of yourself, nourishing your heart, mind, body, and spirit, and learning how to communicate how you feel to the ones that are in your life. That's kind of like the big picture of what it is. So maybe it is like, at what phase is that though?
So it's emotional health. I'm in the emotional health space. You're into emotional health.
Okay.
You know, because you kind of have to kind of be a little more generic to get more people. So if you posted, hey, did you just lose a family member? Like, you're not going to get that many. But hey, I mean, big thing right now, like nobody's able to express their feelings at work. Nobody could freaking connects, holds hands, touch each other, call each other on the phone anymore. So our emotional needs are not being met. And so that's maybe something else, like another angle. Like, hey, do you have like a lot of emotions, but you just feel like you're not able to talk to anybody about it?
Yeah.
And maybe you could be the one that starts this emotional venting group or something.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
That's needed for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have to go.
Yes.
But yeah, whatever. I'll remember something in a while. But I'm glad we connected. Thank
Me
you.
too. This was so good. And I hope I was helpful for you as well. And as much as you were for me.
You were. Thank you. Very encouraging. Okay.
So good seeing you. We'll connect soon.
Okay. See you
Bye.
later. Bye.